Okay, hey everybody, good morning. How are you? I don't know when this video is gonna post, but I'm gonna post it up as soon as I finish it. But I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing. These beauty pageant queens, black women, princesses. This is about princess culture and propaganda. So I just wanted to say, my little 2 cents in on it. I am proud of that, but it's just propaganda. And I need to teach y'all something because it's if you don't know that it's propaganda, everything in the system is propaganda. That's what it is. But I appreciate you for joining me this morning. Thank you for the loves, likes, and support. And I do see y'all doing that. I really appreciate it. But I want to talk about this, and I'm trying to be quiet so I don't wake people up. But you know what, I'm gonna have to let it rip. Like I really it bothers me that when you post stuff sometimes and when you say stuff and the way we act in society, it says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about what you know. And we're not that woke yet. And it's not to say that you have to be at a certain level. You should be at a certain level, but I know that we're all at different stages of consciousness. And at this stage, when I see people posting about how great we are as black women, this is what I do too, but I have an intent behind it, and that intent is to wake us up and to be a part of the great awakening that will lead us to total liberation, the liberation of our people. And you know I see, like, we're not woke enough yet. And I hate when people say, well, they ain't gonna wake up overnight. If people would stop saying that shit, maybe we could. Like, I don't think like how everybody else think. I'm not the average thinker, and I really think about, things that would seem impossible. I don't I don't limit myself as far as where our liberation can go, and it shouldn't be limited. And that's the point. We shouldn't have to limit ourselves. But let me get back to the real point. The point is, when we see this stuff as far as black women being appreciated, you can't really appreciate the black women and kill us at the same time. You can't crown us and kill our children and our men. You can't do that. Like, it's insane. Like, it's not it's crazy. It's not logical, and I talked about a psychological dependence that we have every time we see stuff like this. Every time we see us getting appreciated, and it's being put on the pedestal for the world to see, while we're still in racism, while nobody has done anything about our justice. you know um Especially as far as white people go, because white people control the system right now. And they I haven't done my research on whether the beauty pageants are black owned, but I assume one or two or three of them are not black owned. So with that being said, it's like we can't keep denying that this system is so deceiving, to our eyes. And it's like, it's a deception game. Like, it's really getting tiring. Like, I'm tired of seeing that, like, especially from my friends and family. And this is the thing, we're afraid to talk and speak up about it, because we don't want to make our friends and family uncomfortable. But I have to let y'all know, like, this is some bullshit. And it's you can't keep we can't keep letting each other do that and just letting it slide by, because it has a huge psychological effect on us. Like, we really, the reason why a lot of us aren't speaking about justice is because you don't have that fire in your heart yet, you know, especially until something bad has been done, you know. But they do it over and over again to us, and then they praise us, you know, and that doesn't make any sense. Like they keep they keep doing shit like to just to make us dependent on them, because, you know, if you think about it, you already know that we don't have any power. So we have to stop thinking like that. Like we do have a lot of power, and we don't think that we do because of how we've been trained. And everything in society is propaganda. Everything we look at, everything we hear, you know, our communication has been dumbed down, you know, by these reality shows, and just the way we talk to each other, it's just stupid. Like that shit is stupid as hell. I can't stand when we talk to each other in such a low level way, and then we make these fucking memes and posts, you know, on how we should treat each other, as if that meme is supposed to highlight the topic, which it does, but you know, that shit is simple shit that shouldn't even be highlighted. Like we should know how to communicate with each other. We should know how to communicate with each other. And you know, I'm trying not to, you know, it's just a fucked up situation. We're in a fucked up system, and you know, we can't keep being quiet about it. We can't keep not letting you know that, you know, you can't keep doing this. Like you can't keep, you know, ingesting and participating in our praise when obviously, you know, we have no justice. We don't have any justice. We don't have, you know, say if one of those beauty pageant queens walked out on Crenshaw or Western right now and get pulled over by the police, you know, they're not going to be, you know, they're just another black person at that point. I'm about to go and do a volunteer assignment. You know, when I walk out of that facility, I'm another black person at that point. You know, we don't we don't see it that way. We need to see this in real time. Like this is what we have to deal with, and this is it's ridiculous. I can't even really get the words out because this shit is fucking stupid. Like it really does make me upset, and I'm not into hiding saying that, because a lot of people say, you know, oh, it don't make me upset. It does make me upset. Within my self-control, it makes me upset to see, you know, how many people really do think that, you know, that's a good thing. That's a trick. That's propaganda. That's propaganda. You know, they're making it seem like they appreciate us when really they're working behind the scenes. We don't remember how much they hate us, especially after all the slave movies that they've been putting out. You know, that's just to really numb us into accepting, you know, whatever kind of praise, whatever kind of leeway they supposedly give us. And, you know, I say supposedly is because we participate in it. You know, we keep participating and watching these movies. We can't, you know, we can change overnight, but we have to stop saying that we can't, you know, change, you know, within an instant. We talk about how godly we are. Why not change in an instant? Why not tell people that they can turn it around? You know, it's like I like to play reverse psychology with myself. I know that it's hard to reprogram, but you know, I like to try to practice thinking otherwise so that it would be easier for me. You know, and I don't enjoy seeing that. Like I'm really trying to deliver this message, but I don't, it just fucking sickens me, because this really is a racist system. Like, our schools are owned by racists. Our banks are owned by racists. Our government, our armies, which is not really ours, all of our entities, our businesses, Target and all that stuff built off of racism. All of that stuff. And I hate when, when we talk about this stuff and, people get into the denial about it, because it leads to other things. Like, it leads to having to realize this, and having to realize that some of your most, precious things that you've attached yourself to in this society, as far as comfort, like going to the movies and going to Target and going to places that you enjoy, even enjoying Facebook. All this shit is owned by racists. These people are practicing racist acts, and they'll never call themselves racist, because that's the religion that they have. That's their thing, when they don't acknowledge racism, but they want you to acknowledge that you deserve the treatment that you get. And they do that by a level of propaganda. They show us things that demean us, and when we don't have any power to control that, we're very weak. We act very weak, and we look for refuge. And seeing that, as far as history goes, they've trained us to depend on them. So when we depend on them, we look to them for refuge. And when we look to them for refuge, it shows up in things like them crowning us as Miss America, and all these beauty pageants. And they really don't care about us. They really don't care about us. They really are working on something much bigger. But we just have to keep waking each other up. I really don't want to wake up anybody in this house, because I really want to scream at the top of my lungs. So this shit, it's ridiculous. Like, we have to really keep teaching each other. I don't give a fuck if you don't agree with it. I appreciate you listening, because that's the first step, is us listening to each other. You don't have to agree with it, but you ought to agree with it, because it's about you. Like, we're a people that come from truth. We keep living in this denial stage. We're in a stage of awakening, but there's a lot of denial. There's a lot of denial with that, and as long as we stay in denial, we can't really go anywhere. Denial is stagnation. Like, you can't do anything if you're in denial. You can't go anywhere if you're in denial. Like, we're in denial, and I don't know, because sometimes I know this message reaches people, but at the level that it needs to be reached, which is on a larger scale, I know that a lot of us are asleep. A lot of us aren't really that awake, but we have to keep trying to wake each other up, because our lives depend on it. Our lives depend on it, and we don't want to think about that right now. We're really kind of lazy when we think about that, because we don't feel like fighting. And we're honestly a people that don't like to fight unless we have to. We're like that. I don't fuck with you, you don't fuck with me. I don't fuck with people unless they fuck with me. Like, we're really like that at heart, because we're a peaceful people. But we can't keep getting beat anymore. We have to understand that in real time, when they do stuff like that, as far as crowning our black women, that's kind of disgusting to me, because it's like, you know, the image I see is like, you know, you don't want to know the image that I see, because it's like, it's a disgusting depiction of, you know, white supremacy, you know, separating us. And that's just what it is. Like, they're killing our men, you know. They're killing our men, they're killing our children, they're killing us. You know, what's the use of having a crown and a good hairstyle if they're gonna drag your ass in the streets? Like, we need to really wake each other up on this, you know. I keep seeing it in the posts and stuff, and you know, it's sad, because, you know, we're really not that awakened as we should be, you know, to get to where we need to be. You know, and the reason we don't want to hear about this is because it'll make you start thinking about everything that you've been taught. We need to start thinking about everything that we've been taught. Everything that we've been taught is a lie, and it's propaganda. Everything we've read in our history books, everything we've ingested in the US is a lie. You know, this is a corporation. It's a corporation, and, you know, they just make us, you know, they just want us to stay asleep, you know, pay bills, and, you know, they want to have the power to give us any kind of civility, you know, like, you know, that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. Like, it doesn't work. We need to be pushed to wake each other up even more. And, you know, this is what my page is about. Like, it's about waking us up, you know, despite your discomfort, you know, and I'm talking directly to you. So I'm like, you know, there's nothing else to do. You know, if we have to keep worrying about our lives and worrying about, you know, whether we're going to wear, some of y'all are not worried about it because, you know, you depend on them, you know, easing you, making you think that they're not going to kill you. And based on what's been happening and what's continuing to happening, based on our level of sleepiness, like they are, you know, they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep deceiving us. You know, deception is a hell of a job for someone to lie to you, you know, like for someone to betray you. That's what it feels like right now, especially, you know, for the African, is because, you know, we've already been taught to trust them, and we've already been numbed down to not even recognize that we trust them. So when we don't really recognize it, and in the same moment we recognize that they're actually not for us, they're actually against us, you know, it feels like betrayal, you know. And the racist has a sick way of being, honestly. I mean, for someone, you know, the way they used to treat you in colonialism, like they would, you know, like say a slave owner would take, you know, a slave, you know, a prisoner of war, and treat him with loving kindness. You know, that's sick. That's sick, you know, and that's where, you know, that's where coons come from. You know, because you think that they're treating you with some kind of loving kindness, and you've abandoned your people, and you don't, you know, you don't really see what's going on. You don't really see, and, you know, because you don't see, you know, you psychologically depend on their comfort that they give you, with all the movies and all the amenities in the US. And, you know, it's really just, you know, you're really just a pet at that point, you know, and not even a pet. Like, these people are evil, like really evil. Like, I'm I'm not about to keep getting into it and going in the circles because I really do have to go. And I hope I delivered this message as best as I could. But I'm going to keep talking about this because it needs to be talked about. And, you know, I can't keep letting our people, you know, keep thinking that we can't get liberation when we can. You know, point blank, like, you know, I don't see us like that. We need to remember how we look as a people. Like, we need to remember how we look as Africans. Like, we've lost that connection, especially with our culture, with our clothing, with you know, the way we think. You know, we really do look like each other. We are African. You know, they try to pretend like they're against the Latinos and they're against everybody else, and you know, but they're really deceiving you because they really are trying to keep us under submission, and that's not going to happen on my watch. So thank you for listening. I'll be talking about this again real soon, as well as other topics. But thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow me right here at Lavetta Janine. And thank you, and have a good day.